Aha.
I'm the Earl of Preston, and I am the Duke of Ted. Put them in the Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden? Excellent!
That's been a hot minute since I've seen that.
Where did you dig that one up?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to At the Inn of Eddie. We are hanging out here tonight. It is an odd night for us to be recording. It is a Monday night because I am out of town this weekend and we're not going to get to our usual Saturday spot. But 1 week from tonight, boys, 1 week from this minute,
7 days.
Sitting in the seats. I'm
We'll be
sitting
in
there
the
with
seat,
the goosebumps.
literally. Yeah.
And jumping up and down and waiting to act like the Wiggles just took the stage because it's Eddie.
Yeah, pretty much 7 days to the minute because we were starting this at 7 o'clock, or I mean 7:02 now, but we'll be in the arena with the lights going down.
Yes,
Do we know who's opening for them?
The Raven Age.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, man,
Yeah, because they got a new
They're
album
good.
out right now, actually.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Matt, the Raven Age is
Thank
Steve
you.
Harris. Steve Harris, the bass player of Iron Maiden. It's his son's band.
Okay.
And they're killer. They're killer. Like new age. It's new age metal. It's, it's young people. They're really good. They're really good.
I would
I will look that up.
Yeah. New album's really good. Their new album, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, did I send that to you?
My ignorance, but they're really good.
I would give you a hard suggestion to listen to two songs by the Raven Age. One is called Fleur de Lis, and the other is called Grave of the Fireflies. Straight up bangers. If you've never heard of the Raven Age, try those two songs down and see what you think, because they're so good.
All right, I'm gonna get you to fire a Spotify link to me on those ones. That way, I don't forget.
I can
'cause
do this.
That will happen between now and the next time I get a chance to turn on the Spotify. So I'm excited. This is a bucket list show for me. This is something I've been waiting for a long, long time. Since Bruce rejoined the band, really, when Bruce was not, as we discussed the other day or last week, if you're listening to this on demand, I was not into Blaze Bailey's run there. So when Bruce rejoined the band, I was all over it. And then just for one reason or another, I never got the tickets. I didn't have the time. There was something booked up. I think there was even a couple of times where I just flat out couldn't go because I had kids. So
they do get in the way of a lot of things.
For me, my original plan when we first discussed this, the Sphere in Las Vegas opens at the end of next week.
Is that open already or no?
No, U2's opening it, aren't they?
U2's opening it, and U2 is the other band that is high on my bucket list of shows to see. So my original plan was I'm going to see Maiden on Monday. I have the week off of work, and I'm going to, get down to Vegas and take in a U2 show and knock off my two bucket list concerts in the same week. However, the U2 fan club grabbed all the tickets really, really quick. So that plan went out the window, but I mean, it worked out okay for me with my other favorite thing. So that's pretty cool.
Just go down to Vegas and start winning a lot in the casino, and they'll comp tickets for you.
Oh, that's all I have to do. Absolutely. I'll walk in with $20 Canadian and walk out with U2 tickets. That'll work for me. But you guys have seen Maiden before. How many times have you guys seen Maiden?
Well,
Mike, I don't think we haven't missed one. Like I haven't gone without you. I don't think. Right?
I don't think so. Like we saw them in 2000 on Brave New World.
Think we saw them 3 times.
More than that.
Actually?
Yes. So 2000 for Brave New World.
Yes.
The only things in my life that I remember are concert dates and numbers. So 2000
sure as fact.
Brave New World. 2008 was Somewhere Back in Time. And then 2013, I think, for Made in England. I want to say it was 15 or 16 for Book of Souls.
That was with your son, right?
No.
Was
Legacy.
No.
The 2019 was Legacy of the Beast with Junior when he was 10 and he has no memories of the.
Seriously?
No. Not really. Who's 10? It's a lot's changed, and it's been a weird 4 years for everybody, right? And just lots happened, and he declined your guys' invitation to come on the show tonight.
No.
Yeah, see,
whatever. It's a lot for him.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's an uncomfortable. He'd be really uncomfortable, and at 14, you're a person of few words. Like when I ask him, "How's your day?" Good. What are you doing? Nothing.
Well,
nothing.
Well, when it comes to parental figures, yes, you're probably like, I never wanted to talk to my parents when I was like 14 or 15. I would just pretend to.
I don't think I've ever seen you talk to your dad.
No, my dad's usually yelling at me.
That's exactly
time to talk.
It's more
kind of like it was about 5 minutes ago.
I'm just deflecting verbal assaults. No, just kidding.
That's Matt. Like before we went on, me and Seb were getting a little hot, and
yes, you were.
Probably reminded Seb of being at home as a child. Because Seb not giving it back. It was a one-way street in your house, but we were giving it to each other pretty good.
Well,
yeah.
I can.
I was ready to hit the exit button. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need this.
One of you salty and one of you spicy, and I was just sitting here going, I got a storm outside. I might lose.
We
power.
gotta go.
So we
gotta get this shit. Can you two shut up for just a minute?
So
I actually did shut Seb up at one point because I do have.
Yeah, but I wasn't even talking when you muted me. So I was just like, okay.
Anyways, Iron Maiden.
Okay, so
I do have some Iron Maiden news. If you want to hear some news,
yeah, let's start off with that.
It's I guess Bruce Dickinson, their singer. He's put out some solo records in the past. Hasn't put anything out since 2005. He announced yesterday his new solo record that's been in the works for, a decade. It's coming out beginning of next year. It is called oh no, I forgot what's called. Oh shit, the Mandrake Project.
The Mandrake Project.
Yeah, that's
a cool title. I like it.
Like a 10-second clip of some music. Matt Bruce's solo stuff is usually really heavy, like tuned down, a lot more angry, and
it's also a lot more like medieval, if that's the best way of saying it. Like it's a lot.
It's hard to compare. Like when you say Iron Maiden is not medieval, but Bruce takes it to another level.
Yeah.
That was going to be my point because I've been listening to a lot of Maiden, mostly today, to be honest with you.
Cool.
Little smatterings here and there. Listened to some yesterday, but
it's hard to explain.
They're very
I guess the best way to describe it is that Iron Maiden is kind of rooted in medieval history and history of the past and like Egypt, and they deal with great works of fiction, and some of their songs, Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great, are about real people, whereas Bruce takes it more to a fantastical image, I think.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Music has this weird tone of it's good. It's really good. I love some of his solo records are some of my favorite metal records of all time.
I still like him in Maiden better than his solo stuff.
Me too.
Because I mean, his solo stuff is there for a reason. It kind of explores things that maybe is not so explorable in Maiden. Yeah. So it allows him to stretch that creative muscle, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. There is one song the title, the opening track to Book of Souls, if eternity should fail, that was supposed to be on this solo record.
Yeah, that's a good opener.
I don't know, but Steve Harris heard it and he's like, "Hey, we need to do that song because it's really good."
So, excuse me, sir.
They're all good.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. That's mine now. Okay.
Yeah. The one thing I have noticed about listening to Iron Maiden so much in the last day or so is they're very long-winded lyrically.
Yes.
There's been more story
than a few times where I'm just like, you just used 4 words where one would have done, and you're still able to keep with the rhythm and the melody of what's going on with the band, which is really impressive to me.
I think a lot of the lyrics are
easily cut up. You can cut probably half the words out of an Iron Maiden song and still get the same point and story across, and yet Bruce manages not just to sing it, but to sing it the way he does. And Bruce is just a fantastic vocalist. This is something I've known for a really long time, which is why Bruce being in the band was really key for me to join in on this. But it's just so many words that are, I don't want to say unnecessary, but
They're unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Yeah. I
Well,
mean, I
the-
don't have a better word for it. And
But
it's
some of
and
the
it
songs
works.
are written by the bass player. So that might be a non-singer writing these words down saying you have to sing these words and you got to fit them in.
Well, just look at the lyrics for Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner and read those, and
Oh my God. It's like a book, right?
I
It's like reading the
cannot
Iliad.
imagine how he remembers all the lyrics for his songs, man.
Yeah,
Like it's
it's
just so
impressive.
much stuff in there. What was I gonna say? I was listening to Chris Jericho's podcast, or started to. I've only got like 15 minutes into it, but he did one on Iron Maiden about their top 10 opening tracks, Iron Maiden tracks.
Yep.
And they say something at the beginning, which makes a lot of sense. And I actually kind of agree with him and goes, they don't really have a lot of like great opening tracks. Like most of their good songs are in the middle of the album. Like they're not, so it's just interesting how
Like, they're almost throwaway songs in a way, right?
Well,
these little rockers that get you going, and they're really all about those 10, 12.
But they have
And
two
songs.
style of opening songs, which they mentioned in the podcast. One is your 3-4 minute banger, like "Be Quick or Be Dead" or "The Wicker Man," and then all the other ones are like long intro songs, kind of. So I don't know what your take is on that, but they usually have this, like every album has a 10, 11 minute epic song pretty much, which is like the staple song of the album. So
For me, a lot longer the song, the better. That's just how I roll. More music, just give me more.
well,
So,
I was talking about the new album to somebody recently at work, and I made a statement saying that Hell on Earth is one of the best songs they've ever written.
Mhm.
I still stand by it. I think it's a phenomenal song, and I really hope they play it on Monday.
Yeah, me too. I haven't peeked at the set list. This will be a first for me.
Are you going to?
No. Well, I've waited this long. I can't give in.
Yeah, I know. Giving in at the last
now. Right.
minute.
I'm not giving in now.
Yeah.
I've stuck it out. I'm like, I know a couple of songs just by accident. Opening up Instagram and stuff like that. It's like, oh shit, I played that. Damn it. And then or like your YouTube algorithm. It's like, no, I didn't want to see that. And so I know 2, and that's it. So 2 of 15 it's gonna be quite surprising. Like quite surprising.
Yeah.
To see what because I've heard that it's like deep cut heavy. Like it's the fans show. Like this is for the long time fans, this tour.
Well, I'm interested to see what Matt expects out of the concert, because I have my own theories on what they're going to play, and there's a very specific reason.
Ooh.
But I'm curious to see what Matt thinks about what is in store for Monday.
I'm not really familiar enough to know which tracks to pull. I think it's going to be pretty heavy on Senjutsu, because they do seem to play a lot of new album stuff every tour. But I'm looking forward to classics. I'm really hoping that we get Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills, but that's probably not a thing from what I understand about.
You're not getting it.
It's not an every time. I don't think
getting
it's an
it.
every time thing. They do and then they don't. It's really cool. Like they'll leave their biggest songs out for fun.
So traditionally, Iron Maiden does 2 sets of tours between every album. They do the album tour, which is what we're going to, and then they'll come back and do like a legacy tour where they'll play a lot of their classical songs. So I think every time we've seen them, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, they have played at least half, if not more, of the songs on the new album. When we saw them do Brave New World, they played the first 6 songs they played were the first 6 songs off the new album.
Yeah.
So they played them all in an order, and we're like, are they just going to play the whole album right from beginning to end?
Right. Yeah.
So I would expect them to play, God, I know, at least 6, 7, or maybe even 8 songs off the newest album. Right.
They did play a couple on the last tour, like finishing up the Legacy of the Beast. They played Stratego and they played Writing on the Walls, and they played some.
They're definitely playing Writing on the Wall for sure.
They played it last tour. They might not.
Maybe not.
They've already done it, right? They went through another run of Europe and the States and played them, and maybe I'm assuming we're going to get Days of Future Past, because that's kind of the name of the tour. So that's kind of that was pretty obvious.
It's going to be.
I was kind of grooved to that song today. Mm-hmm. Also, it really hits home for me because that's one of my favorite X-Men story arcs. So I mean, that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Not the movie, the original.
They're gonna play a lot of from Somewhere in Time as well.
Yes.
From that album.
Yes. Yes,
Maybe
they
from
are.
the Final Frontier as well, I would assume.
Ooh,
Like,
really?
well, it just fits with the theme, right?
It does.
Because it's like a future theme, right? And so the title track from that is Satellite 15, The Final Frontier. So
Yeah.
I feel like we may get a couple songs from there.
Oh.
I honestly don't think we'll get anything old. We may
Like what's like old, like first two records old, or
like I don't think we'll get anything before the 90s. So I think maybe as far
Really?
as back the I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the set list either, so I have no idea. But they might bring out a few classics. I don't
Like
really
me-
know actually.
that's the beauty of it. We both it's
Yeah.
just it's nice. It's kind of nice not knowing. Like it's I don't know, because I'm usually, okay, like last time we saw them, I was every show, okay, pull up the set list, pull up the set list. Okay, this is the same set list every show. This is what they're playing. And I knew
Yeah.
every song they were going to play in order last time. And it was great, but there was no surprises.
I feel like for our sakes, or you and our sakes, we both want to see deep cuts that we've never heard live before. But I feel like Matt would want to see the classics done live because he's never seen them live.
Like I said, I kind of understand how Maiden works. As I was saying, it's like I'd like to hear Run to the Hills and Number of the Beast, but I also know that they're going to be new album heavy. It's going to be focused on Senjutsu because this is not a band that can play a half of their catalog, because one, the catalog's friggin' huge, and two, the songs are all like 6-8 minutes. It's like they do long songs. So I mean, to have say a 15 track set is still a 2.5 or 3 hour show.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. Whereas
The
other bands, to get 2.5, 3 hours, they're doing crowd work, they're doing covers, and they're doing 25 or 30 songs.
Like the last three songs on the Senjutsu album is Death of the Celts, which clocks in at 10 minutes 20 seconds, The Parchment, which clocks in at 12 minutes 38 seconds, and Hell on Earth, which clocks in at 11 minutes and 19 seconds. So if you play all three of those, that's a quarter of your show right there, just in three songs.
So
30 minutes for every song.
I'm not going to read what's on my screen, but I do have the set list up.
Do you not? Oh,
please don't.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. You don't want it spoiled. I'm not the guy that's going to do that.
I won't even come. If you spoil it for me, I'm not coming.
Sad face. I wanted it to be a surprise for you, Matt, while you were at the show, but I guess you ruined it for yourself.
Why'd you pull the set list up, man?
Because I don't know it. I want to know,
Okay, you want to know this. Okay, you want to know.
I kind of want to know what to listen to. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I have looked at the set list, and I'm okay with it. I know and have actually taken note of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 of the songs they have listed. I've took note of today of going, oh yeah, this is fucking rad.
Nice. Cool.
So I'm now pretty excited. But I mean, again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Now I have an idea of sort of what to really pay attention to in the next week or so as I drive my coworkers nuts with Iron Maiden playing out of my Bluetooth speaker all the time.
Yeah, like I said, I only know 2, and they're both off of Somewhere in Time. So, one. So yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So no, I'm, but I think mostly. Nah, that's not true. I was going to say mostly I'm excited for the stage show. That's not true. It's not, because
it's the same every time.
This is one. Well, I've never seen it though.
That's true.
Right. So, I mean, I will be doing the Jim Brewer thing. Like you may want to stick me, like Cooper may have to draw the short straw on this one. It's like, no, you need to sit next to the monkey. He's on the end. Then Cooper.
I'm keeping him far away from you.
We'll go Matt. We'll go Matt, Seb, Cooper, Mike.
Yeah.
So Cooper can be in the middle, so he's not flanked
you,
by
you
a
put him
big.
close enough to me. You're paying for
Yeah.
a cruise.
Actually, it's funny. The only thing he remembers about that show is he remembers looking at me when Sign of the Cross was on and me singing it. And he's like, I've never heard you sing before. Because I just don't. And I was just belting out Sign of the Cross. So
It'll be a good time. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be I'm excited to be able to witness this father-son bonding moment.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to a concert with my father. So
I definitely haven't with my father.
No, I went to 2. I took my parents to Paul McCartney and tour before my dad got sick, and then we went and saw Tina Turner back in like 2000.
Nice.
Oh, she would have been great live too, probably.
Amazing. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's got some stage presence.
Dancers were super hot. Awesome.
And you will be, Matt. You'll be. Well, hopefully, he still has the same energy, which I believe he will. But Bruce Dickinson is one of the greatest frontmen for any heavy metal band ever in the history of music. Like, he's the guy. So
he is what a frontman should be. Yeah. I have never heard anyone say different. It's always, when you're talking about top frontman, Bruce is number one. And if he's not, there's an argument in the discussion going on.
My wife doesn't like him.
I mean,
you know what though, and I've had this
started an argument.
So you know what, this is an actual topic because some people that have listened to Bruce Dickinson do not vibe with his voice at all. Yeah, like I know a lot of people
at all
that say I hate his voice,
like
because it's very distinct.
Like, the music is great. It's like when he starts singing, she's like, I'm out. I just can't deal with it.
And she's not the only one that I've heard say that. And like a lot of my friends are like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It
just like touches a nerve in the back of your head where it's just like, oh, it's like just enough. Like I bet you she listened to Blaze over Bruce. Of course, she still hates Iron Maiden anyway. But I'm
gonna fight Sherry the next time I see her. I'll lose, but I'll give it a good.
I was about to say, sweet. I got next month's rent on Sherry.
Yeah, it's we don't put it on. Cooper gets control of the music a lot of the times now, and it's in the car, and it's like we all know what's coming. It's like, oh, as much as I want to hear it, it's like, don't do it, buddy. And on comes the most screechy Bruce Dickinson song, and it's just like, seriously.
And so
AirPods go in.
I have a question for you guys. Matt, you can't say Iron Maiden because you're gonna go see them on Monday. But what is like a bucket list band that you've never seen that you want to go see?
For me, they're getting a little long in the tooth now, but me, it was AC/DC. Never had a chance. Never got the chance.
I've seen them.
And how were they?
So what happened was a buddy of mine was supposed to go, and he couldn't for some reason. So he traded me his $80 AC/DC ticket for the $20 wrestling ticket that we were going to go to the next weekend.
Sold.
Yeah, right. So here's the thing. We were in the Pacific Coliseum, and they were not great seats. We were dead center of the stage, but we were the last possible freaking row in the building.
Oh man, nosebleed, really far.
Concrete wall behind us.
Love it.
Now, the thing with it was, sure, everybody was a spec, but I had a really interesting view of the entire place because we could see from the highest point in the building everybody singing along to every word of every song.
I guess you hear the whole crowd,
all night long.
Yeah.
It was a group karaoke session.
Yeah, man.
It was a complete sing-along. I've never seen anything like it to this day. AC/DC was rad. Brian Johnson running down the stage, swinging from the bell. Now, this is 20-some-odd years ago because it was pre-kids. And then I had this just smoking hot cougar dancing to everything right next to me to the point where her dress had also ridden up. And white was a very good color for her undergarments.
Nice. Like, I see where you went there. Yeah, I guess AC/DC. So would you want to see them more if it was Axl Rose or with Brian Johnson?
Brian Johnson. Yeah. All day long. Yeah. Axl was cool. Like it was.
I would want to. Yeah, I would want to see that just for that. Well, lack of better words, it's not a train wreck. That's not the right word to use, but just to see that experience, right? Because
Yeah, it's like the AC/DC experience featuring Axl Rose, right?
but like,
Except
what other singer can you see replacing Brian Johnson? Like,
None.
when they said that, I was like,
Absolutely
yeah, of course. Like, that
Yeah,
would
right?
that of course that would work.
Yeah,
I
made
went
sense,
the
right?
opposite way because
No.
Brian does not sing like Axl.
No, but he's got
Right?
a
Axl
got the
is
same
a
screech,
lot
right?
closer to Bon Scott, but I mean, at the same time,
yeah.
it works.
It's like an
because he is
amalgamation of the
much
two,
closer to
right? So
Bon Scott. It's it's kind of like as Van Halen has sort of flip flop between David and Sammy a couple of times. It's kind of
Yeah.
like being able to see what Bon could have done with the Brian Johnson songs instead of us seeing what Brian did with the Bon songs, right?
yeah.
And Axl was the closest thing we'll ever get to that. And I saw a couple of clips. I went, damn, because Axl is not holding up well, but you know, rock star
Yeah,
life.
but he doesn't hold up his own songs anymore either.
No, and actually, I'm looking up set lists with Axl on vocals, and they put in a couple of like Bon Scott songs they never played since Bon. Well, I'm
Like-
assuming this. Rock and Roll Damnation, If You Want Blood, Live Wire, and Riff Raff. Riff Raff's awesome. Like those are some real. They're bangers.
You think Brian Johnson couldn't sing those lives? Maybe, I don't know.
No, he probably couldn't.
Yeah,
I think that's why they were in there.
That's
Yeah,
probably
maybe.
true because Brian
So.
has
Axl
As a
just had more.
gravel-
He had more
gravel
range,
leader,
right? He
right?
could get like. Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Having sung Brian Johnson AC/DC songs myself at karaoke a time or two, it's hard on the throat. My own nervousness is when I get nervous with a song that I haven't done before. I my voice does that, and so I just leaned into it, and it worked out well.
But you're not
It
supposed
just
to sing that
hurt.
way.
No, you're not. It
Like,
hurts.
go
No.
to any vocal coach; he'll tell you like this is not
Mhm.
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is terrible for your throat. But
Yeah,
I don't
and
know
you-
if Brian Johnson's natural voice sounds like that or not.
I think it
Yeah, a
kind of
little
does
bit.
now, but I don't think it did at the time.
It just sounds like he's just really destroying his throat when he sings, right? Like, it's just, ugh.
Well, there's a
Um,
very good reason for that. It's because he's
Yeah.
destroying his throat when he sings.
'Cause
But
he's
like doing one AC/DC song, and then going, "Wow, that hurt," and then grabbing my water or my beer and lubing up my throat so that I can continue hosting a show, and then
Yeah.
thinking, "This guy does it multiple times a week
yeah.
on tour. What the hell?"
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, how he keeps it up, I don't know. Good on him. He's made a bunch of money for it. And I don't recommend doing it at all. So, but anyways, that's Brian Johnson. Seb, what about you? I'm trying to think of bucket list bands myself because I stooged off my top 2 already. What about you?
There's one that's like pretty obvious. Well, not obvious to you guys, but one that I really would love to go see is Nightwish with Floor Jansen. They're a Swedish band that's not really well known in North America that much, but as soon as I experienced them for the first time, my cousin actually went to see them when they were here because they were here in 2017 and they played the Vogue Theater, whereas in in Europe they play stadiums.
Louise.
So, and I'm just like, oh my God, how was it? He's like, it's incredible because
Yeah.
it's symphonic rock with like one of the best female lead vocalists ever in heavy metal music. Or, she's not really a heavy metal singer though. Like Thor Jansen doesn't do like she's not like Angela from Arch Enemy, which does like the girly
Yeah.
thing, but like she's an opera singer and it works for Nightwish. So just to see, because Nightwish, the music they write is meant for stadiums and arenas. Right. So and they are so good, like so tight live. And actually I think you'll be blown away with how tight Iron Maiden sounds live. Because it sounds like you're listening to a studio recording and they're playing in front of
Okay.
you. They don't make mistakes. They're such seasoned musicians and professional, like you don't hear a mistake in any of their songs. It sounds perfect. Like it's
I
crazy.
think that leans a lot into their discipline too, as a
They're
band.
highly disciplined.
Because, I mean, you mentioned the Chris Jericho, the Talk is Jericho podcast talking about the Iron Maiden opening songs. They've done a few Iron Maiden podcasts.
Yeah.
They've had Steve Harris on. He's had Steve Harris on, I think, twice, and I think he had Bruce on once. But he's had members of the band on. He's had,
So he's had Nico on too, I think, right?
I think so.
The drummer.
Yeah, and I think they've been on some classic album clashes as well, where they're breaking down a couple of albums. And Chris has a very good sense of where a performer's fucking up.
Yeah,
and he has said the discipline of this.
Yeah,
The discipline of this band is absolutely incredible because they, exactly as you just said, they don't make mistakes live.
yeah.
It's hard to pick it out. I mean, Chris knows he's a podcaster, he's an author, he has his own band, and he has this other athletic side gig that I can't remember what it is for the life of me. But
Yeah, I don't know what it is
He's
either.
able to he's
Hockey,
able to
right?
pick these things out. Yeah, that's right.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Winnipeg, so.
Well, I mean, his dad played for the Rangers too. So
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the hearing musicians in there, because I think like Charlie Benanti has also been on one of those things talking about that. So it's one of those things that it really leans into why I'm excited for this.
Well, it's the respect and the
it's-
love for the music too, right? It's they
Yeah.
love what they do, they love their instruments, they love the music they write, and they don't want to show it off in bad form
Mhm.
because they're proper.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
proper-
they're
proper English gentlemen.
That's right.
proper.
They're proper
Yeah,
They
English.
are definitely not lazy musicians. Like they give everything into the performance, right? It's all a spectacle. I
Like,
mean,
they're
I'm pretty sure their stadium shows are a little toned down from
Mhm.
when they were in their height of doing massive stadium shows that were just so over the top. Like you're still going to see Eddie and there's still going to be props but it's definitely toned down now, I
a
think.
little bit, but they're all pushing 70, right?
Yeah, they're up there, aren't they?
Like Nico, he had a stroke.
That's
in
the
February.
other thing is it's got to be a smaller show for Vancouver because they're not playing BC Place Stadium. They're playing Rogers.
They
They're
never
playing the
do.
hockey rink.
They play Rogers on purpose.
Yeah.
They don't want to play easy place. They always play either Rogers or the Coliseum. Because
Yeah.
that's
Well,
your wheelhouse, right?
I don't know if they're going to sell out BC Place at this point in their life, right? Because
That's
there's
also a good point.
like it's not Europe, right? Like they would sell out big arenas, like 40,000 seat stadiums in Europe. They're not going to do that in North America, I don't think. Not at this point in their career. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think they're bigger now than they were 30 years ago.
Think so? Ah,
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think I think they, like so many other bands that are aging, bands stop touring as much, playing well, giving a shit, and these guys really give a shit, and they really take touring very seriously, and people see that, and they'll come again and again, and now people are I'm bringing my kid, people are bringing their kids, and then it's just this sort of cycle of new fans every generation. Like my son's 14 and he wears Iron Maiden shirts like every day. Like it's
are you
awesome.
going to buy him a shirt at the concert?
Oh hell yeah, I'm buying
Yeah,
it.
boy.
He had that one from 2019.
Does he still wear it?
No, it doesn't fit.
Oh, I guess it wouldn't fit him. Yeah.
Well, we did buy like three, 4 sizes too big on purpose. It lasted a while, but now he's almost as tall as me, so it's kind of.
Well, he can put that up as a poster in his room or whatever, right? Like,
yeah, it's somewhere in his mess of a room, but whatever.
hey, I don't remember your room being too clean back in the day either. Mine was definitely a disaster.
He's got to take him. He takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah,
it's something else to see that.
That means he's a brilliant kid, because don't they say geniuses live in messes?
Right. Yeah. Well, he is the next Einstein.
There you go.
Well, there we are.
What about?
So I've managed to come up with a band that I'd like to see live
Live
that I
Is it
haven't
live?
seen yet.
Is it live?
It's Nickelback.
No, live was
I'd love
actually
to see
my first
Nickelback.
concert. and
Actually,
it was
so would I.
terrible. Actually, I wouldn't mind Nickelback. but
Low
that'd
key,
be
I
fun.
think it's a
It'd
great
be fun,
concert.
man. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It's the Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah. Okay. There you
As
go.
I,
Yeah.
as I think back on my bucket list, I think a good reason why U2 is so high, and it's not that I don't love their music, it's that I can't see a lot of the bands that are on my bucket list anymore because they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't see the Beastie Boys. I
No, you
can't
can't.
see Public Enemy. I can't see Alice in Chains.
Well, you can. You just see different versions of.
You don't want. You're
Maybe
not seeing the
especially
Alice in
this
Chains that
last-
you wanted to
last
see.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, you
My opinion on that is all over the last podcast we did,
Yeah.
and it's nothing against him as a human being. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
It
work
doesn't
for me.
vibe with you, man.
No.
Okay, so here's a
hasn't
question:
landed for me.
what is one band that you wish you would have seen that you like you can't see any for whatever reason? I have two that I have in mind. One is Nirvana. Like I never saw them live, and they were such a. Now you realize how big they were for music and the movement that they helped change.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see them live back in the day. And Led Zeppelin would be the other one, just because of the same thing, right? Like I had the opportunity of possibly going to see them in high school, but I wasn't that massive a Led Zeppelin fan back in high school, so I was okay not seeing them. And then
Oh, was
now,
that the Page of Plant show that I went to?
yes, you went to the Seattle one, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because they were also in Vancouver on our grad night.
They were. That's why we went to Seattle the day before.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
right.
And I was now that I look back on it, I'm like, I really wish I went to see them. I really do, because that was the last time they played together, right? Page and Plant, that tour,
They
or did they
toured
tour?
one more time after that?
Did
and
they? Yeah.
haven't done anything really since.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, from what I remember, like it was a long time ago. It was
Yeah, but-
1995. It was a couple of years ago.
That's a few years ago.
From what I remember, it was really, really good. Like they played
Yeah.
some Robert Plant solo stuff, and they played some Jimmy Page solo stuff. They played like "Shake My Tree" from Coverdale Page, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't Led Zeppelin. I saw Jason Bottom's Led Zeppelin Experience. They came here to my small town in Rockville Coliseum. There was like nobody there. It was probably like 500 people there, and it was awesome.
that's
Because he
good.
plays just like his dad. He got players that looked like the guitar player. I swear to God, it was Jimmy Page from 1975. Like it was
Same look, everything.
same
That's
everything,
awesome.
hair, look, mannerisms in the face. That's what a tribute band does, right? You mimic who you're paying homage to. And
Yeah.
these guys were, it was
Yeah.
spot on. And Jason showed like movies of his dad, and they showed, I think they played Kashmir with Bonzo on the big screen and Jason playing along with him, and then the rest of the band playing the music. It was really cool. It was really, really, really cool.
When I worked at the casino, it's a small venue, like it seats about 3,000, 4,000 people, but a lot of like very good tribute bands go through the casino circuit. And one of the best ones I ever experienced live, I think they were called Rain, and they were like a Beatles
yeah.
cover band.
Yes.
Holy crap,
Oh
were
yeah,
they good.
they're like the cream of the crop of
So good, man.
man.
So
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
so-
really good things about them.
Yeah. So,
Bengals are winning. Good God. Sorry.
hey, they may
Oh,
win
we're
their
gonna get back
first
into
game of the
football.
year.
Hey,
Ladies
we
and
scored a
gentlemen, here
touchdown.
comes-
Hey, we got a touchdown. Yes.
Hey, everyone can
Yeah, so,
put Jeff Burrow
in
back
that
on their.
line, now that
Yeah,
we
right.
mentioned it, Taylor Swift is really high on my list of people to sit down and
We
go
are
and
not
play a
having this
football game with.
conversation.
I would go see Taylor Swift in concert.
Yeah,
I saw Carrie
Lo-
Underwood. She was amazing.
Low key, it's
Okay.
probably an amazing concert.
Carrie
And
was-
you know what? Do you know
Carrie
one
was
thing?
awesome.
Do you know one thing that she does, which is actually a really cool thing in Taylor Swift concerts? Apparently, so she has this thing with like friendship bracelets. Do you know? Have you heard of this?
No.
Where you bring friendship bracelets with you, and you're encouraged to like give them out to other people to like connect with other people at the concert.
Then I don't want to go. I'm out.
Oh my god! So I don't know. I don't know.
That's cool. Hey, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
It's not for everybody, but it's for all the Swifties. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's something for the fans to connect over,
Yes.
right?
Like none of us here are Taylor Swift fans of her music. I would say
I
that with
respect her as
full
a
confidence.
songwriter and an
But she's a
amazing musician.
great songwriter, a great musician. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Okay,
really,
so here,
dude, he
here's
is.
another question for you guys, which I think I've already asked.
Hold
Oh
on,
my God,
hold on there.
not all of
Question
them.
McGee.
Let's go.
Let me give everybody a chance
I was
to
gonna-
answer here. Also,
Yes,
in the
sorry.
bands that
I
in my
apologize.
bucket list bands, I did remember two more: Ice Cube and Cypress Hill. However, acts I wish I had seen, clearly Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
And I
you did
think the
mention that.
top, if you said resurrect one act and you can have one night,
Oh,
probably the Beastie Boys.
mine would be the Doors, hand down.
That's a
down.
good. That's
call.
a good call.
I mean, you
Also-
go back far enough. Hendrix, Prince.
Also,
Like-
low key, Queen with
I
Freddie
don't even think
Mercury.
it'd be too low key. That's a really good poll.
Yeah, low key's the wrong word, but Queen with Freddie Mercury, that would have been amazing.
Mhm.
I did not realize my respect, I shouldn't say my respect level, but like my understanding of Queen and what they meant to music and their existence in music was, I didn't really get it until after I watched the movie Bohemian Rhapsody with Rami Malek, and then I kind of like just had an eye opener for what Queen was in the world, in the
man.
music world. So
Huge.
yeah, they're,
Yep.
and I mean, even Metallica covered a whole bunch of their songs, right? So
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stone
Won a
Cold
Grammy for
Crazy
it,
is a
too.
very different song through Metallica.
that's a good one, eh?
It's very much like the difference between Rob Zombie's version of "I'm Your Boogeyman" and the pardon me, and the
Wow.
original.
You're raising a fucking
I'm not
barn?
even sure which end that came out of, Matt.
Jesus. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Someone forgot
My
there's a
tribute to
microphone
Big
in front of
Daddy
him.
for all of my friends at the Walnut Grove pub. There you go.
That's
I'm
great.
going to blame the Budweiser Zero on that. That was
There you go.
that was
Hey.
awful. That was yes, and I am drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Good for you.
Um,
Good for you.
Well, I actually like the taste of beer. I just don't need to be hammered all the time.
Well, just don't
Okay,
drink
Steph,
14 of them.
you had a
You're fine.
question that I cut you off on.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Just give me a
Aw.
sec. Give me a second. I'll come back to me here.
This is a pen.
I know, and then I'll
Right.
I'll think of it in a
Okay, so
in a
let
minute
me
or
ask
two.
you
But
guys
yeah,
a question here while Seb's thinking. Eddie is iconic. Is there a favorite album cover or image of Eddie to you
Album
guys
cover.
that's
I'd
just
have to
like
look at them.
is there something that stands out to you? Like
I think yes. I'll tell you right straight up. I think my favorite album cover work, I believe. Hold on. Let me just pull it up again for myself just to see if I like it again. I like, okay, so my favorite album cover, which is very simplistic and there's not a lot going on in it, but I just love the album cover, is the Book of Souls album cover, where it's like, it's just Eddie.
It's Aztec Eddie.
It's Aztec Eddie, and it's
Yeah,
just
man,
him with
Aztec
like white, like he. Maybe it's because it reminds me of like Lord of the Rings and the Uruk-hai white hand on the
Oh, yeah.
face thing. So maybe
Right.
that's why I resonate with it so much. But I just love the simplicity of it, and it's not loud. There's not like a lot of things going on. It's just Eddie's face with like
It's
a white.
it's a statement, right? With the solid
a
black
sta- yeah.
background. It's just like, this is who we are. If you don't fucking like
Yeah.
it, fuck off.
Yeah,
Right? That's
well,
that
there you go.
record in a nutshell, right? That's Bruce Dickinson's like stamp on that
Yeah.
band. Because he wrote like
Yep.
every song, almost all the songs for that record. And he had cancer at the same time in his throat or tongue or something.
yeah, and that's
It's one of
that's
his
the
best
thing
vocal
that-
performances, man. Like, he killed it on that record.
I think he recorded it before
When he
right?
had the tumor like on the back of his tongue, he had this big lump there. He didn't know what it
Jesus
was.
Christ, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one
yeah,
right there.
yeah, man.
That's pretty badass.
It's just simple,
That
right?
is.
It's just a
For
pissed off
for
Eddie.
those of you that are on audio only, you can check
Yeah.
out. I mean, you probably have your phone in your hand, anyways. Google the Book of Souls album cover, or check us out on YouTube, where you can
Yeah.
see when we do drop these things in here. Yeah, that's a really rad image. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, like the two other for me, the two other iconic album covers is probably Power Slave and Seventh Son. Like they're just, Power Slave is the Egyptian pyramid with
Oh, I
the
love
Eddie
that.
is Eddie as a sphinx basically, and then Son of the Seventh Son is kind of Eddie's top half, and he's got like his heart in his hand.
Yeah.
I think at least I think it's heart if my memory serves.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like the heart in the hand, and you can see it
Yeah.
connecting into his body.
And it's like over a sea of water basically, and
Yeah,
there's
like a
this,
frozen
like,
sea kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. But the Power Slave one is
Yep.
just it's just the golden pyramid cap, and then Eddie just as a sphinx in there. That's kind of iconic. I mean, some people might say Run Number of the Beast is pretty iconic too. Like they're all good, but yeah, Book of Shadows for me is just so simple, and it's like you said, it's a statement. It's just Eddie, right? And it's just badass. I like it.
Well, like the first 4 records, I'm looking at them all now. They were all pretty much the same. From Killers, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and Peace of Mind. They're all
It's very punky, right?
blacks and yellows, very punky. And then Power Slave is like, hey, look at us. We can put color, and we're doing something different.
It was significantly different though. Like once they got the Power Slave, it's like the entire image of the album
changed.
cover changed.
Everything changed, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But I can't disagree with the Book of Souls though. I was one of my 2 that I was gonna pick.
Yeah, well, the Book of Souls also, just so you guys know, and I think I sent you a photo of this, but my buddy owns a comic shop in Abbotsford on George Ferguson Way called Heroes for Sale. Cheap plug. Go see Ivan. Tell him you heard about it on the podcast. That's actually a pop figure collection. So you can get the big pop figure album cover with the Iron Maiden guys as well.
Oh, nice.
And that is
Nice.
really, really cool. I that one was a tough one not to bring home, even though I'm not the biggest Maiden fan, because I do love that cover. However, and I'm looking at these things, which is why I brought it up, is it's hard to pick a favorite, but I think really that if I had to pick one hands down, it would be this one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
The new one
covered it's Senjutsu.
Yeah, that's a gooder.
It's also very Book of Souls-ish, right? There's not a lot
Very.
going on. It's just Eddie, and it's Eddie as a samurai, basically. So
yeah.
How do you guys like the new album?
I enjoyed it.
I like it. It's Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of it when it came out a couple years ago, and I don't listen to it very often now. But it's like if I'm comparing to my other favorite bands, I like Senjutsu better than I like what the hell 72 Seasons. I like that better.
So
you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. I Maiden puts out more music and they put out better music.
I know exactly why you like it better, and I'll tell you why. And it's something that Chris Jericho said when I was listening to his podcast this morning. It's like some albums have so much going on that you can't absorb it on the first listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so albums like Senjutsu and a lot of Iron Maiden albums grow on you because you start to get the nuance of each of the songs. If you find yourself liking an album immediately, that usually means there's not a lot of depth to the song because it's all about the hook of the song, right? Which is kind of what happened with 72 Seasons, right? Like we were so high on the album. It's like, I can't tell you, it's been like a couple months since I've listened to the album. Like it's probably been in July. It was the last time I listened to 72 Seasons. Yeah, like I have a bunch of my favorite songs that come up on my workout playlist that just randomly show up. But as a standalone, let's put in the CD and listen to the whole album. It's just like I'm good for maybe all but like 2 or 3 songs on the album.
It's a hard listen. It really is. Like
I think.
God,
I don't want to say it. I know, but I want to say it. It's just,
a lot of the. It's lacking dynamics. It lacks. It's
not deep enough for each song.
It's too straight ahead. Like Inamorata is great. Crown of Barbed Wire. That's the only song I'll ever put on now is that song because it's killer. But
I do like 72 Seasons though. I do actually like that as a song.
It's too long. It's just way too long.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right?
I get it.
It's like 8 minutes. I don't know. It's like it reminds me. Yeah, it's lacking dynamics. It's not bad. It's not great.
And it's not like we're not gonna like it because I know once next year comes around and we're getting closer to Metallica, we're gonna get swing back into it, right?
Absolutely.
But like Chris Jericho kind of hit it on the head. It's like if you find yourself liking a song immediately, there's usually not a lot of depth to the song. But when there's like songs like Hell on Earth, for example, it's just a phenomenal song. Inamorata is a phenomenal song. You're not going to be well, unless you're Mike, you're not going to be blown away immediately by the song because it resonates with something in your soul, right?
Yeah.
Immediately, right? So I respect that huge.
Well, Hell on Earth,
Yeah.
it kicked me in the junk when I first heard it too.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And I was listening to it when we were talking, and it's amazing.
It's a good
It's
song.
so good.
Yeah.
It's got so much emotion and so much like anchor's the wrong word, but it's just for old rich guys. Like it's just they're just laying it out there. Just laying it out there.
And it's possibly like a good closer to their career too.
Oh, it is. I don't
Right?
think
Like it just seemed
there's
at the
something
time,
Yeah.
that it could have been the last song they've ever written.
Absolutely.
There's also a guy on YouTube that does the entire song on an acoustic cover. He's standing like on a mountaintop.
Oh, is
I'll
that
fire-
with Thomas long kind of blondie,
Yeah,
long hair,
yeah,
2010.
yeah.
He's always got his dog with him.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that guy's
Yeah. Have you seen
awesome.
it? Yeah, it's
Yes.
so good.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's
he's
just him on an
amazing
acoustic
player.
guitar, plays the whole song. It's great. It's crazy.
So good.
So, but
So
yeah,
I was just looking that up because
No doubt.
I remember hearing Chris talk about this album at length. Do you remember when Senjutsu dropped?
2021.
And it's September
Yeah.
2nd, 2021. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
And here's a tidbit for you. When we saw them in 2019, Bruce said to the crowd, "We have an album done. It's
Yeah.
coming out soon." And then they just canned it because of COVID.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly
they haven't
what
written
it
a
is.
song
And,
together since like 2018. So it's time.
because they're not
Something
gonna
coming.
do a song out of COVID or in COVID because a band like Iron Maiden, correct me if I'm wrong, but they really
Records.
thrive on being in the studio together, right? Like playing the song together. They can't do it over Zoom because it's not in their DNA.
I don't think so.
And I
Yeah.
believe now I don't know if you've actually heard this, but you can find this episode of Talk is Jericho. It came out the same day as the album dropped, so you got to go back to September 2nd, 2021. It's the Nico McBrain is sitting talking tactics, strategio, and senjutsu.
I've
Is the
listened to
title
that
of
one.
the
Yeah.
album. It's so I knew Chris had dissected it with somebody. I thought it was his usual cohorts of Charlie Benanti and the guy from
The other guy.
Anthrax, who I'm just brain farting on right now.
Scott
Um,
Ian?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can't imagine why I just did that, but it happened. Scott Ian and Charlie Benanti are on and off of Talk is Jericho for some music stuff.
That's cool.
One thing I would just like to mention, I didn't mention the wrestler this time first. That was somebody else.
MG.
So the only reason I mentioned it is because it's directly linked
And
to Iron Maiden.
It
So
absolutely does. And here's the thing. As we all know, I'm a big fan of Chris.
No.
Yeah.
What?
no.
If you go like a lot of people, the wrestler podcast, it's not just wrestling. If you don't like wrestling, skip those episodes. But his normal stuff and his musical stuff is fantastic. He gets really good guests. He's had some really big names.
I would actually say that like less than 5% of his actual podcasts are about wrestling. Like he doesn't do a lot of wrestling podcasts. The most, I mean, maybe not that low, but like maybe 1 in every 10 is like a wrestling podcast. A lot of them.
It's about 1 in every 3 or 4. Is
Is
you're
it?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different aspects too. Like sometimes he'll like sit down and talk to a person. Sometimes he'll rehash parts of his career.
I remember listening to that podcast with Nico, and he apparently had a lot of difficulty getting the drum track down for Senjutsu, the actual drumming part for it, because it's very apparently technically difficult for what he's used to playing and the style that he's used to playing, because it's really out of his norm of how he normally plays drums. So, and I mean, the first thing you notice on that song is the drums, because it just kicks in with the drums, right? So, and it's very Asian influenced Tommy, I guess is the best way. There's a lot of Tom use in it.
Lots of tom-toms.
Yep. Very true. And I just want to mention this because it was a fantastic podcast. It's completely off topic aside from the fact it's Jericho talking music. Go back and find his August 22nd episode, John Lennon, the final interview. And he is talking to writer and producer Lori Kay, who left John Lennon's apartment with him after an interview the day he was shot.
Yikes.
And was harassed by the shooter, thought about calling the cops on him and just ran away. And when John came back that afternoon or that evening, history was made. Fascinating interview. Yeah.
That's a very valid point, Matt. And I would just like to say to all of our listeners, if something in your gut is telling you to do something and you have no reason why it's doing it, follow your gut and follow through with it. There was, people, I have been in a personal situation where I followed my gut and ended up saving somebody's life. Mike has done the same when I think you dragged somebody out of a burning car. So, listen to your gut, people. There's a reason why your intuition and your gut is firing off. Something's not right in the universe, and you are the funnel to make the change that need to possibly save a life. While I just get really deep and emotional here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but yeah, I mean, we mentioned him a lot. So, I mean, Sebs has a good point. Like, Mike saved a life. I saved a life. Seb saved a life. So you follow those gut instincts. You never know. And this poor lady is still feeling terrible about it to this day.
Yeah,
To this
no kidding.
day.
Yeah.
It's
no kidding.
But yeah, happier notes. Go back, scroll through Chris Jericho's Talk Is Jericho podcast, pull out his music stuff, pull out his supernatural stuff. He just did an interesting little episode on the Loch Ness Monster. He's had a couple of super wackadoos on too, and you can actually hear Chris go like mid-interview. Chris is like, "Oh, mistakes have been made."
He's got a very polished podcast. I really enjoy listening to his podcast because it's edited very well too. Like it's very.
Yep.
Like there's no dead space in it, but I mean, like he pays people to edit his podcast for him because he's a rich wrestler, musician.
Cases, I mean, then some cases it's just
entrepreneur.
live tape because
it's true.
It works better that way. You might be able to hear me yell out at a couple of the live ones that I've been to. Anyways,
I remember my question, so let's close off with this question.
Let's finish this off. We're almost at an hour to go, Seb.
It's an Iron Maiden question, and it's for the two of you. I have my answer, but I'll just throw it out to you. What is like one of your favorite Iron Maiden songs that's like completely underrated or not well known at all, or is like a deep cut that that isn't considered like a staple Iron Maiden song? This is in my top 5 all-time Iron Maiden songs, which it's not really, it is a well-known song, kind of, but it's never talked about. I never hear anyone talk about the song, at least personally, and it's Dance of Death from the title album.
Yeah, man.
I don't know why I just stuttered on that. That song is so good, and nobody ever talks about it or even like gives it credits, or you never really hear anyone talk about it in Iron Maiden chat. It's just I feel like it's a forgotten song, and it's so freaking good.
It's a forgotten record, really. Like
dude, I had this conversation with you a while ago, didn't I, Mike? I'm like, go listen to
it's 10 times as good as Brave New World. It's awesome. Like this album,
Wildest Dreams, awesome. Rainmaker, Dance of Death, Passchendaele is a good song. Like, yeah, there's so many.
Age of Innocence. Come on, like these songs are all songs you'll never hear live. They're on YouTube. They did them on that tour, but
man.
I
mean, I guess Dance of Death is like the most popular song off that album, but like, I just don't. For me, I just don't. Whenever I listen to anyone talk about Iron Maiden, like I've never heard anyone mention this song, ever.
No.
So I just think it's if anyone's an Iron Maiden fan that's listening to this, just give it a listen and just tell me if I'm right or wrong or not. I don't care because I love it.
There's so many that you could quantify in that sort of underappreciated zone, especially in the stuff they've done since like post the return.
Do you got one?
I got many.
Okay, fire a couple off then.
Okay, I got one off of the Final Frontier.
Okay.
When the Wild Wind Blows. It's 11 minutes. Okay. Awesome. It's this it's an awesome sort of apocalyptic story. It's this, I think it's, if I remember right, it's very lyric heavy. It's like a book again.
It's like the closer too, eh?
It's verbal diarrhea. Like it doesn't stop.
Man, but, Iron Maiden staple closer song. Like it's just an epic journey and you're taking you somewhere. Yeah.
It's a really good too. There's a bunch of songs off this record.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
look at
low-key
their
good
AZ
album.
lyrics. Yeah, that is a hell of a
That's a book.
3 trees died for this.
But there is one off of Somewhere in Time, which I hope I get to hear next week. And Matt, I don't have my screen up, so I won't be able to read your face. If your eyes will give it away. But the loneliness of the long distance runner. It's always been one of my favorite
Interesting.
tunes.
That's a
Yeah.
good song.
It's such a good song.
I don't have the set list up anymore, and I
Good.
don't remember what was on it, so I
Okay.
couldn't tell you if I
Mike
wanted.
secretly closed because he didn't want to tell from Matt.
Well, I don't
Hey,
have
fair
the.
enough.
I'm looking at album covers and stuff, so I don't have you guys right in front and center right this second. So that's one I hope they play. I'm not assuming they do. That's my
Yeah.
big wish. That and Afraid to Shoot Strangers, which is my son's one song he wants to hear, but I don't know, man. That's
That's a good song.
a great song.
I think Fear the Dark is a lot better than you remember it being. Like okay, so the problem with Fear the Dark is the song misses on that album are just atrocious. Like
Yeah.
it's either a really good song or it's just terrible.
Yeah,
Right?
You can't
But
wait to hit that next button.
Yeah,
Right.
but they like the songs on that album are some of them are like Be Quick or Be Dead, From Here to Eternity, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, Childhood's End, and Fear of the Dark are phenomenal songs.
I think you might have nailed it. The misses are so big. It's just like I can't do this. And
Like,
it
does
overshadowed-
anyone listen to The Apparition or Judas Be My Guide or
don't even
Weekend
know what-
Warrior
don't
or The
even know what those are.
Fugitive or Fear's the Key, which is arguably my worst. I think I hate that song more than any Iron Maiden song.
Really?
Fear's the Key.
Fear's the
Listen
Key.
to it and tell me if it's a good song. I just don't. I don't like
number
it.
4.
I just
Awesome.
don't like it.
Man,
I
How
just
about
do
track
not like
4
it.
too?
I don't like it.
Oh, this song's
So-
not okay. I know the song, It's
Yeah,
not
it's
great.
just eh. It's just
and I don't
eh.
like the sound of the record either. It's kind of got that like, oh, we missed the '80s glam rock, so we're kind of
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do think that "Be Quick or Be Dead" is probably their best opening song of any album.
That's a gooder, man.
Okay, I love it. It's
You should
so,
watch the
it's
music
just,
video. It's bizarre.
I remember I have seen it, but I cannot for
Oh,
the life
man,
of me remember
it
what it's
is
like.
So early '90s, it is bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you've been looking at your screen for a long time. You gotta give
okay,
me
so
one
what I'm
answer.
what I'm doing here is I'm scrolling through Iron Maiden's AZ lyrics listing, so I can
Yeah.
see as I scroll, I can see all the albums and
Yeah.
all the lyrics. The problem for me is I don't know enough of the deep
Yeah,
cuts.
right.
Like I think of
Yeah, that's fair.
I think of a song and then I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's on the set list. So it
Okay,
doesn't
before-
work as well.
Okay, well, I'll
Um,
change the question for you then, Matt. Before
so-
you looked at the set list, what is
Mhm.
one song you absolutely hope that they would have played live?
Well, I mean, we covered the two, but I admittedly, before I even said it, because I have listened to enough Talk Is Jericho to know this is not the tour they're going to play it. So I think I'd have to go with some of the stuff off of Senjutsu because that's the stuff that sticks in my mind right now.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that is just living there rent free in my head.
Dude, I really hope they play Hell on Earth.
I enjoyed Stratego, and like Days of Future Past. I always enjoyed Hell on Earth. I mean, that was solid. Yeah, like I just wanted. And again, I know what this tour is because I've paid attention to things over the years, so I know that this is going to be very heavy on that album, right? But you know, I'd like to hear some of the older stuff. You know, it's hard not to want to hear Brave New World or Where Eagles Dare or Aces
Yeah.
High, but that's the odds are not good, right?
Well, we got Aces High last time, so you're not getting it this time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not getting it.
right? That was with the plane coming down to crash at the beginning of the show.
Dude, they had a plane on they had like actual
Oh,
plane.
that's
in the
pretty
arena.
sweet.
Well,
It was
this wasn't a
awesome.
real plane, but it was like it
was-
almost looked like it was the same size. It's like an actual fighter plane that
like
they
a
had
World
just
War
floating.
II kind of type
Yeah.
small prop jobby. It was pretty cool.
It was, yeah,
Um,
it's good.
and then speaking of Chris Jericho, he put together a band and did a cover of Aces High, which just sort of popped up into my life at random one day on a Spotify thing. So I was like, oh, rad. I haven't heard this in a long time.
Do you want me to tell you what they played last time we saw them, so it probably rule these songs out?
Sure.
2 seconds.
But that
while I-
doesn't necessarily mean they won't play them, because they may
No.
sneak in a song that they.
I mean, 2
Yeah.
Minutes to Midnight is also one that
Yeah.
that one I won't be like. So part of my job is I drive giant cans of toxic chemicals around on a forklift, and that one I might have gone for an extra long route when that one was playing. I'm like, let's just skip that one back. Yeah.
I do have one last question before we close off, which is
Okay.
Iron Maiden related as well. Unless Mike still has something to add, right? Because you're looking at the set list.
I am. It's
before.
coming up right now. The
Yeah.
squirrel's turning real fast.
Okay,
So
well, Sam-
here's
here we
here's what we got last time. We got Aces High to open the show.
Mhm.
Where Eagles Dare, 2 Minutes to Midnight, The Klansman, The Trooper, Revelations, For the Greater Good of God, another really good song. The Wicker Man,
That's a good song.
my favorite
that's a good
Iron
song.
Maiden song, Sign of the Cross. Flight of
It's a
Icarus,
great song.
Fear of the Dark, Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden, and then the encore was The Evil That Men Do, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and Run to the Hills. Like that is
That was a
about
legacy tour, right?
Yes,
So,
that was legacy.
obviously.
Yeah.
Because look at
That
that
was-
track listing.
Yeah, that was that was awesome. Throw the Klansman out and put something else in there, but it's a perfect set list.
Clans was a pretty good song, though.
That's a really good
That's
list.
a pretty good song.
I mean, it's almost a shame they're all so long because these guys are pushing 70.
Yeah.
We can't ask them for a 6-hour show, but that's
Yeah.
really the only way you're going to satisfy everybody's need every time. Or, they take a page out of the Metallica book and it's like, we're going to be here for 2 days. So,
or you do a medley of
Buckle
an
your-
album, like an album medley where you
Mhm.
just amalgamate 4 or 5 different songs into one song. I really like the fact that Metallica used to do that, because
I
they're
don't
like,
mind a
okay,
good medley.
yeah, because we don't
Um,
want to play the full song, but we'll just do like 3 or 4. We'll mix that up and do a medley of a Justice medley or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
You want
me-
they did a covers medley on that Garage Inc. that I really
Did they?
enjoyed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Merciful Fate.
that's
The
right.
Merciful-
Yeah,
Thank you. The Merciful Fate medley, which I
That's
really
right.
enjoyed.
You want me to get
here for
salty or
medley.
spicy again? Because I will.
oh, go ahead.
Do you want me to?
Well, is
Fuck,
it related to Iron Maiden or Metallica?
Yes. Both of them.
Okay, what?
Fuck medleys. It's lazy. Play the whole damn song. You're getting
Yeah.
you're getting handsomely compensated to do what everybody dreams of doing. Play the whole goddamn song you wrote.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that because they don't want to play the whole song. I think they're doing
Well, the
that
Justice stuff I
because,
get because it's long.
because
it's
they can't
complicated.
fit all the songs in a show, so they want to give you
Yeah.
a taste of the songs.
I-
Yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
taste.
you gotta
I want
scratch that-
the whole. I want the whole pie.
Okay, here's a question for you guys.
Hold
Do
on,
you want to?
before
Okay.
you get into that, I want to make a point on a medley. Sometimes you just fucking hate the song, but the crowd loves it, and you're just sick to fucking death of
Yep.
playing it. It's like, I hate fucking playing this one. I hate fucking playing this one. I hate fucking playing this one. It's like, okay, let's put it all together in 3.5 minutes, and
Enter
then
Sandman.
they can shut up, and we can move on.
They have
Yeah.
to like playing that song if they still play it. Have to.
Oh, yeah,
Actually, to be fair, as you and I that are both guitarists, that is a very fun song to play, man.
It
It just
rocking,
feels
man.
so good.
It's grooving. It's grooving, baby.
it's a
But
fun
it-
song to
yeah.
sing.
Yeah.
I'll
They-
drop
they
some
had a-
Sandman once in a while. I mean, I don't karaoke as often as I used to, and Fuel is even more fun, but it's so quick. Like Sandman, you get going, and with the right crowd at the right time, you kind of got to wait till later in the evening. You can get a sing along going real easy on that one.
You know what other song is extremely fun to play is "Ain't My Bitch," like that
Oh,
main
yeah.
riff. Ba-da-da-da-da. It's just such a good song to play. Okay,
But going back to the medley
Let's
thing,
go.
I don't
Let's
think
finish this off, Seb.
yeah.
Wow,
Maiden
sounded
is
weird.
the kind of band to do medleys
they don't do
They will-
medleys.
because they play 15-minute songs. That's
Yeah.
just what they do. They're not going to give you, okay, well, here's the red and the black. We know it's 14 minutes, but we're going to give you 4 minutes of it. Give you the greatest hits version of a long song.
No, when we
That's-
saw them, they even extended Red
They
and the
played
Black.
the whole damn thing, and it was
No, but it was even longer because they had this. They
Right.
interluded in the middle forever.
Ever.
Yeah. So.
well, Rhyming
okay.
Into Mariners pushing 15. They played the whole thing, right? So Maiden's not that band to give you just. a
They
taste.
won't medley it. No.
You give you the whole hog, Matt. The whole thing.
Okay. Last question, and I'm sure Mike probably already knows the answer to this, but I've looked at a lot of like top Maiden songs of all time ranking systems. What is the number one ranked Maiden song on pretty much most lists. It's considered the best Maiden song that they've done, and I agree.
Am I going to vomit in my mouth when I hear
You're
this?
not.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, I get it.
It's not Number of the Beast, is it?
It's no number of the beast like 10.
No, I
Thank
wouldn't.
fucking God. Okay. I was gonna.
No, sir. Number of the beast is 8. It's ranked 8.
Okay.
Okay,
fair
I'll
enough.
give you. I'll give you the top 10. So number 10 is Fear of the Dark.
Hmm?
Number 9 is Passchendaele. Number 8
Really?
is Number of the Beast. Now, this is going on the Guardian website, so
Okay.
these might be different on different websites, but number
Sure.
1 is pretty standard.
Okay.
Number 7 is 2 Minutes to Midnight. Number 6 is Phantom of the Opera. Number 5 is Power Slave. Number 4 is Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Number 3 is Aces High. Number 2 is Trooper. And number 1,
No, hold on. Let's have a guess. Unfortunately, 2 of my guesses were in that list. I was going to say I was leaning towards Trooper and 2 Minutes to Midnight. So
I will give you a hint. There is a whole bunch of reaction videos to Bruce doing this song live by a lot of vocal coaches, and they're going like, holy shit, this guy can sing. It is a good song, and I agree. I when I think about it, when I deeply think about why they put this at number 1, I'm like, I get it, and I probably agree with this.
I want to say something fun like shit, it won't tip my tongue. Something like Caught Somewhere in Time or Alexander the Great or something like that. But there's so many good Maiden songs. I'm probably wrong, but
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It features possibly the greatest recorded example of David Murray and Adrian Smith's dual guitars in action. A structure that, in its shifts in tempo and mood, reflects its condemned man's protagonist movement from confusion and surrounding terror to bold anger. Vertical liftoff is achieved at 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and a fantastic edge of hysteria Dickerson vocal. If an alien recently arrived on Earth wanted to know what heavy metal was, you could spend hours explaining its manifold complexities, or you could just play them Hallowed be thy name.
yeah, Hallowed's a good
fair
tune.
enough. All right.
If you ever see him do it live, you're like, this is legit. Like,
Oh, it's so good. Like
it's-
you watch
yeah.
the Rock and Rio from 01.
It's initially I'm like, really, they put that as number 1, and then when you like actually
It
deep dive
makes
it,
sense.
you're like,
It
it
makes
actually makes sense because it's a
makes perfect
very,
sense.
it's a song that's rooted to like to the core. Like, and when they do it live, they really nail it live.
And
So
they're right. The guitar work between Dave and Adrian.
so good, so good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, I'm not that familiar with that song, even though it's on the Number of the Beast album. So what I've just done is I've queued it up. I'm going to give that a listen once we've signed off here. But boys, we're an hour and 12 minutes into it.
okay,
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Ready to
One
go.
week
I'm
away.
really excited to cap off my weekend with this show. I will see you boys Monday. It's gonna be
Okay.
weird. It's been a long time since we were all in the same room together.
Oh yeah.
I know it's gonna be fun.
Oh, I know exactly when it was too, and we're not going to talk about it.
Not on the air.
No.
I don't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
actually
no,
know.
fair enough. Yeah, it was 2019. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would have been right.
Well, that's a
Oh,
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Still
been a
good 4
while.
years ago.
I'm excited to sit down there. I think we have a couple of stops to make before we get there. I will do my best to be back from Seattle and my other massive fandom of watching.
Yeah, it'd be tragic if you missed the show, Matt.
What's that?
It'd be tragic if you missed the show.
I'm not missing the show.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I
Use
would say,
helicopters in.
I would say I'm sorry if you missed the show, but I would laugh at you.
Oh, you would have every right to. Every
I
right
mean,
to.
I would be able to help myself.
I will be
Because-
whoring my ass out if the car breaks down on the side of the road.
It's not like we
You've
just
ever
sprung the
seen-
show on you. You know when it was from
If you've ever
for
seen
months
Jay
ago.
and Silent
That's
Bob
like
Strikes
6 months
Back,
ago.
I'm going full Carlin. All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
There's a reference.
All right, boys.
Okay.
Seb, I want to thank you personally for hooking these tickets up because this
No problem.
is on you. I'm
It's
really
on you,
looking
buddy.
forward to hanging out with you boys in person. I'm really looking forward to seeing this show, capping off my weekend. I have to figure out. Actually, no, I already figured out what I'm wearing.
Metal shirt.
He's gonna
No.
wear a Chris Jericho shirt or something.
Oh, of course he is.
Of course he is. Jesus.
No, but and then we got a couple of stops to make downtown. Show a few stores off to the boy.
We're
Yeah.
going to the Rock Shop.
That's right.
Maybe we'll go to Roxy Burger for food before the show. What do you guys think?
I'm down.
Is it still there?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
It has
I'm
to
down.
still be there. Yeah.
So anybody
Yeah,
out there
I'm down
that
for that.
is still listening or checking this show out on demand, if you're headed down to the Iron Maiden show and you know us personally, hit us up. We're going to
Yeah.
Roxy Burger. We're going to the Rock Shop. We're going to the show. You can probably find me in the beer lineup or the merch stand where I will be laughing at Mike, yelling at them because his son wants a yellow shirt.
$115 yellow shirt. You have to pick the most expensive one, Cooper.
No, he knows what he wants. It'll be black and it'll have Eddie on it, and it'll be simple.
So it's like one of
black
90 shirts that they
metal
have.
Right? A black Iron Maiden shirt. Go for it.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Right?
All right. Thank you for joining us, boys.
Okay.
Thank you so much for doing this a little early so that we can have a good weekend. You have a fantastic week, and we'll be in touch.
Peace.
You are at the end of Eddie with us, and we will see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.